Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is also fantastic. And maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, William Samoei Arap Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, is our red man. The intelligence report is on his desk. And that intelligence report is very bad. And unless something is done, William Ruto is staring at the possibility of becoming a one-term president. And can William Ruto accept to be a one-term president? The answer to that question is a big no. So William Ruto is now developing certain strategies to try and tame that downward trajectory. In this video, I want to leak to you guys those strategies that William Ruto is now trying to implement. But if you've been following the politics of this country very closely, you should have noted that William Ruto has become unpopular.
Hatukujua ya kwamba kumbe wewe mwenyewe haukuwa na ladha, haukuwa unaelewa ni nini unasema, hata haukuwa unajua kuongoza nchi ni kusema nini. Leo hii umefikia kiwango cha kuuza paka mali ya Kenya. Unauza KICC, unauza KCC, unauza Kenya Pipeline. Unataka uze parastato zote katika Kenya hii. Unataka Kenya ibaki ikiwa ya nani ama ikiwa ya nani? Tunataka kukuambia hivi. Jambo la muhimu ambalo unaweza fanyia wa Kenya, ambalo ni la heshima, just resign. Uache wa Kenya wachague kiongozi ambaye anajua kuendesha taifa la Kenya.
And let's face it. For example, if you go to the Luhya nation today, who is still talking about Kenya Kwanza and UDA party? Only two individuals. That is Cleophas Malala, the Secretary General of UDA party, and William Samoei Arap Ruto. Those are the only two individuals still talking about Kenya Kwanza and UDA party. Even UDA leaders like Boni Halwale are no longer talking about UDA and Kenya Kwanza in funerals because the party has become so unpopular. People like Didmas Baraza are no longer talking about UDA. They are no longer, they are no longer selling the policies of UDA on the ground because UDA, as we speak, and Kenya Kwanza, as we speak, has become very unpopular. In the mountain, the residents have actually turned against Kenya Kwanza. That is one area where they voted overwhelmingly for William Samoei Arap Ruto. So the biggest question, because in this video, I want to give you 5 strategies that William Ruto is developing to tame the downward trajectory. But why do you think Kenya Kwanza has become so unpopular? Because it took Mwai Kibaki over 5 years. Uhuru Kenyatta became unpopular in the second term. In the first term, he was very popular amongst his supporters. As a matter of fact, even in the second term, if there was no fallout with Uhuru and Ruto, I am sure Uhuru would have still maintained his popularity amongst his support base. But why would William Ruto's popularity go down within a year? The truth is, number one, the expectation of William Ruto supporters. Those who voted for Kenya Kwanza had high hopes. They thought that immediately William Ruto was going to be elected the president, sworn in, everything was going to change for them. The reality is that now Ruto is the president, things have remained the same or have gotten worse. So the expectation was so high to an extent that a slight disappointment leads to what we are seeing today. Number 2, William Ruto has also lost the hustler narrative. Because when William Ruto was campaigning, he campaigned on the platform of the hustler versus dynasty. That the problems of the hustlers began and ended with the dynasty. And those people believed that immediately Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga were going to be stopped from becoming the president, all their problems were going to be solved. And of course, you all know that the promises which William Ruto made to his supporters, some of them were just out of this world. In fact, sometimes I'm sure those who voted for Ruto, every time they review some of the clips and the promises which they were made, some of those promises were just unrealistic. So William Ruto is unable to keep some of those promises. And of course, you also know the cost of living has also gone up. If you take, for example, the cost of fuel, by the time Uhuru Kenyatta was leaving office, it was 156. Right now, it has come down, but it's still over 212. A huge difference. You go to sugar alone. People used to buy 1 kg sugar at 105. Currently, if you go to supermarket, it's 200. So which means the cost of living has gone up. And of course, there is a disconnect between the people William Ruto gave the responsibilities, Kenya Kwanza leaders, and the people who voted for them. Just today I was seeing a photo of the kind of house Kipchumba Murkomen is building. I've been seeing the kind of money being displayed by the leaders from Rift Valley, just carrying cash. Doing that while the people who voted for them don't even know what they're going to eat. So that disconnect is what has made Kenya Kwanza very unpopular. So in this video, I want to reveal to you the strategies which William Ruto has developed to stop further downward trajectory. But before you do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But before I dive in, also let me take this opportunity to thank the following people. You are seeing their names on the screen there for the coffee which they sent to me earlier. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. A cup of coffee like this one only goes for 200 bob, but you can do more. Ladies and gentlemen, let us dive in. And let me go straight to the point. The truth of the matter is that William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza have become so unpopular in the Republic of Kenya. You can deny it as someone who is still supporting Ruto, but the truth is, if elections were to be held today, William Ruto might not get the kind of votes he got, especially in his stronghold. The truth is, so a place like Mount Kenya, if elections were to be held today, if William Ruto were to lose only 10% of those votes, he's done. If he were to lose 20%, he's done. And William Ruto expected to eat into Raila Odinga's support base, but I'm not seeing that possibility because of the way he has become so unpopular. But William Ruto is doing something. Number one, William Ruto has hired reputable PR firms to manage his image, both locally and internationally. So the question is, why did William Ruto hire international PR firms to manage his local image? The truth is, his team have failed. Just the other day, you saw the way ND was attacking people working for William Ruto at State House, those managing his communication, that they don't know anything. So William Ruto has decided to hire international PR firm. These PR firms are going to do one thing, to change the perception. That's why, if you are keen, during Jamhuri Day celebrations, pupils, primary school pupils, were used for that purpose. They were positioned strategically in the stadium, so that when William Ruto was getting in, these pupils were strategically positioned and a microphone placed wherever they were, so they were like clapping, Ruto, Ruto, Ruto. That was intended to create the perception.
think there is vibrancy in the air, there is happiness in the air, there is hope, despite, I believe, is politicians and people probably in leadership positions who are always preaching doom and gloom.
Okay.
But the celebrations of yesterday at 60 shows that there's a new dawn.
The truth is, Kenyans boycotted that event. And that stadium was filled mostly by two groups of people. The group that was mobilized by the youth, by the provincial administration, and the group of students, of pupils, primary school kids. So it was to create the perception. At the international front, William Ruto is also being positioned as someone who is going to be the best in Africa. And the team is doing so hard. And the team is working so hard to ensure that William Ruto is featured as the person of the year in Times magazine. That's what I've gathered. So that's number one. Number two, the team has also crafted a strategy of creating division within Azimio. For those who've been following the politics of this country, there is sustained effort to divide Azimio. The only thing that has stopped Azimio leaders from being divided is one. William Ruto is very unpopular. So you leave Azimio, where do you go? So there's that effort to divide Azimio leaders. And that's why the other day you had Miguna talking about Raila Odinga being bribed 6 billion. That's why in the papers today, I think you must have come across that paper cutting where they were claiming that Raila Odinga and Junaid Mohammed were in Dubai in April, where they were given some $30 million US. If you've been following the politics closely, even on Twitter, there was a trend which they were running the other day that Raila is broke. And they were running that trend that Raila is broke, while at the same time they were also claiming that Raila Odinga had received 6 billion. 6 billion is not pocket change, so that if you receive it today, the next day you are broke. So the idea behind all those is to make other Azimio leaders to leave. You also saw they were also targeting Uhuru Kenyatta. Number three, the third strategy is the blame game. First of all, they want to accept that things are bad, but they don't want to take responsibility. They want to blame Uhuru, they want to blame Ruto. They want to blame Uhuru, they want to blame Raila, and they want to blame the previous government. They accept that the economy is bad, but we blame Uhuru. That's why, shamelessly, Rigathi Gachagua yesterday went ahead and even blamed Uhuru Kenyatta for the failure of generator. That's why Kipchumba Murkomen the other day blamed the Jubilee government for the leaking roof at JKIA. Number four, the appointment of government spokesman. I don't know whether it has achieved its objective. I'm not so sure. But the truth of the matter is that the office of the government spokesman was created because everybody was speaking for this government. Rigathi Gachagua would say this here. Mudavadi would say that there. Ruto would say that there. Dennis Itumbi would tweet this there. So there was confusion. What is government position? So by appointing Isaac Mwaura as the government spokesperson, it is expected that whatever Mwaura will say, that is the government position. So they hope by proper communication and centralized communication, they'll be able to change the perception. And lastly, they are going back to their roots, consolidating the Kikuyu votes and consolidating the Luya votes. The Kalenjin votes. because those are the places where rebellion is actually beginning. We have witnessed William Ruto's allies, people like Davis Chirchira, cabinet secretary, being heckled in front of Ruto. Kipchumba Murkomen being heckled in Baringo. Ruto himself being heckled in Mombasa. Ruto himself being told off somewhere in Dagoretti. So they are now going back to consolidate, because the original idea was to try and penetrate Azimio's side. So you go there, but your backyard is leaking. So they have decided, let's go back. I don't know what you think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.